12 cigarettes. Don't follow in my lead, boys and girls. I also thought that meat was icky, and boy was I onto something with that one. But even though I had been vegetarian, I never really gave any thought to it. I didn't finish this conversation with myself that I had started. I didn't give it enough thought. And then about 8 years ago or so, a friend of mine showed me some footage of factory farming. Where would we be without those friends, right? I remember thinking, how could I not have known? Something y'all probably can relate to. How could I not have realized this? And though I had been vegetarian for many years, I had never once given any thought to the dairy and egg industries, which, as it turns out, are two of the most egregiously cruel sectors of animal agribusiness. So I thought about it for a few days, and then I just decided to take the leap to veganism. And it turns out it was a very, very short leap. What about you? Well, I was definitely not one of those people who figured out when I was a kid that meat was dirty. I did have a short flirtation with vegetarianism in my 20s, which was kind of a hippie-related incident. But it wasn't really until I was in my 40s that I actually seriously started to think about where food came from and how animals turned into food. And it was really a dog, probably, who opened my heart. But it was a random remark by a casual acquaintance that really started me on the road of thinking about food in a way that led me to being vegan. And I think that's always a reminder to me, that casual remark from somebody I hardly know, is that we always have to never hesitate about why we eat the way we do. You never know who may be listening. Who knows? The person who you're speaking to might not have paid attention at all, but I was listening and he didn't even know I was there. So it was my dog who opened my heart, and this random remark who got in, who managed to slip by this wall of denial I've been building up for 40 years, which I think so many people share. And as soon as I did find out, like Jasmine, it was, the whole world kind of fell apart, and it wasn't, I had to be vegan, but that wasn't enough, the whole world had to be vegan. And a vegan world, it sounds kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? I mean, we all think it sounds ridiculous, even those who want it to happen. But think about what that really means. It means no animals are suffering on factory farms. Everybody in the world is a lot healthier than they are now. Environmental destruction, including climate change, which, could end the world, is drastically slowed. Everybody has enough to eat. And people get to eat delicious food. It really doesn't sound all that ridiculous when you put it that way.
It doesn't. And it's amazing to me because it's really never too late to change. My grandmother went vegetarian at the age of 86 last year. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, she's a groovy girl. So I'll tell Grandma you applauded her. She's in New Jersey right now and has no idea. Having that vision that Marianne was talking about of the future is the first crucial step. But the second step is to figure out how to make that vision of the future come closer. And at our hen house, we are really in that business. We're in the business of helping people to figure out what they need to do right now to make that happen. So our hen house, a bit of background on that. It is basically a multimedia hive of opportunities to change the world for animals. We have a daily blog, a weekly podcast, which you could listen to on iTunes. Next week will be the Madison episode. Yesterday was our 75th consecutive episode. And we have a video page, which is also lots of fun, so I hope you check that out. And at our hen house, what we do is very similar to what we're all going to be doing here today. We really try to work with people to discover what we could all do in our own lives without more than a tiny little tweak to create change for animals. We believe that there is a way in for everybody, whether you're a lawyer or an artist or an academic or a grassroots lover, or insert the blank. There is a way for all of us to plug what we know and what we love and what we're good at and who we know into our own little pocket of changing the world. Yeah, but today's topic is food, and that's really something that applies to absolutely everyone. We all eat. Let the donuts do the talking. Food is activism. It really means how we can use the power of food and all the stuff we know about food to enlighten other people about the power of compassionate eating and how much that can change their own lives. And when it comes to food, you've probably all heard Gandhi's quote, perhaps his most famous quote, but when it comes to food, it has more meaning, I think, than any other area. You must truly be the change that you wish to see in the world.
so powerful. Just the statement of being vegan is so powerful. So here's how it's going to work. We're just going to talk a little bit about the reasons we think it's so important to be vegan, not only for the animals, but for ourselves as well. And then we're going to talk about ways in our own lives